Standing stoically outside Texas Stadium, it's the new bronze statue of the legendary Cowboy coach, Tom Landry. And inside Texas Stadium, it's the Dallas Cowboys. And they're playing host to their NFC East rival, the Arizona Cardinals. Hello, everybody. I'm Ray Bentley, along with my partner, Jeff Lageman. And Jeff, the Cowboys are going to start their third different quarterback today. Quincy Carter out with the hamstring injury. And then you've got Anthony Wright. He's going to have surgery on Tuesday on his knee. So Clint Stoerner is the last man standing. Now, who is Clint Stoerner?
He's a second-year man out of Arkansas who all the players and coaches have likened to former Cowboy quarterback Jason Garrett. His two strongest strengths, he's competitive and he's smart. But the one thing he does not have is a strong arm. Dave Campo said he's probably not an NFL-grade starter. So that brings in a wild card, Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf did take half the snaps this week in practice, and Ryan, he did say before the game that he feels comfortable with about 90% of the playbook. So it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing at quarterback.
Cowboys waived two defensive starters this week. They're getting tougher. Kareem Larimore and Darren Hambrick both gone. What's the story behind that?
You would think that would have a big impact on this football team, but every player that we've talked to said it's about time. It should have happened a long time ago.
Arizona will also be missing 4 starters, and you see Raynoch Thompson, he's inactive. He got in trouble this week.
Yeah, he had a DUI, but the big thing is all 4 of these guys are on defense, 4 defensive starters, and Dave McGinnis has said we've had to trick it up so far this year to be successful on defense, so it's going to have to get even trickier today.
That it is, and for Dave McGinnis and the Arizona Cardinals, he said, hey, I think I have skilled players on offense. I've got a quarterback that can operate this thing. I need an offensive line to rebuild the offense. They started at the guards, and they went and they got Pete Kendall, and they drafted Leonard Davis. They got 2 big ones there.
And Leonard Davis is big, and it was smart because they got a talented running back in Michael Pittman. Dave McGinnis had a talk with quarterback Jake Plummer in the offseason and said, Jake, you're not the savior of our offense. All I want you to do is to operate this offense, and Jake Plummer has done that. The last 2 weeks, he has not thrown an interception.
Kendall and Davis leading the charge up front. The Cowboys have beaten the Arizona Cardinals here at Texas Stadium 11 consecutive times in the regular season. They've won 18 of the last 22, but Arizona's a little better coming this time around. So we'll find out. We'll have the kickoff coming up after these messages.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Irving, Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys have lost the toss. Arizona will receive. Let's take a look at some of the scores from other action. The earlier games today, a lot of close ones, as Baltimore nips Jacksonville. Jets over Carolina still going on down there. New Orleans and St. Louis, 31 apiece. That's a barn burner going to come down to the wire. And how about Tampa Bay, 41-14 over Minnesota? They got their legs going today.
Amazing, and what a game the Saints and the Rams that's going on right now. That game has been back and forth. Every piece that we've seen has been exciting.
You see Dave McGinnis, second year as the Cardinals head coach, and he was the interim guy for a while, and then they did the right thing and they made him the real guy, and he's really changed his attitudes, in my mind, since he got that interim tag removed.
Well, and the players even lobbied for him to get the job last year when he was the interim coach, and the players even now, nothing but rave reviews for Dave McGinnis.
And Dave Campo on the other sideline. He's been here his second year now, a 6-16 record, and he is trying to get his Cowboy team going, and the kick is off from Mike and Norm. We're underway. And this will be Marte Jenkins. Jenkins hurdles one man and then is stopped inside the 20. A nice special teams play by Jason Bell. The Cardinals offense comes in ranked 13th in the NFL. Up front, Shelton, Kendall, Grudadoria, the rookie Leonard Davis, whom we will talk much about today, and Anthony Clement on the right side. In the backfield, it's Pittman and Makovica. The receivers are Boston and Sanders. Terry Hardy is the tight end. And Jake Plummer coming in at quarterback, and the biggest thing I think you can say about Jake is more touchdowns and interceptions this year.
And that doesn't happen very often with Jake Plummer.
Plummer starts at 1st and 10 from his own 19, and Pittman takes the handoff and doesn't get a whole lot. Runs into Michael Myers. Check the Dallas defense, which is ranked 14th in the NFL up front. Zellner, Noble, Myers, and Greg Ellis. The linebackers are Coakley and Dat Wynn, and then Marcus Steele getting his first NFL start. And then in the secondary, it's Edwards, Woodson, Teague, and DeJuan Hawthorne. And Hawthorne is also getting his first NFL start. They're replacing the 2 Cowboy starters that were released during the week. Hardy makes the catch close to the first down. Mario Edwards runs him out of bounds, and I believe they will mark it. It is a first down here for Arizona.
We talked to Jake Plummer about what's the plan of attack for the Cardinal offense against this Cowboys defense, and he said, you know, it's pretty simple. We're going to pound the ball with Michael Pittman, and then when we go to pass the ball, we're going to attack their corners because we feel that their corners are subpar.
He did say that Darren Woodson is the guy who runs the show over there. He's 28 for the Cowboys.
He said he's awesome.
Sanders goes in motion. Blitz comes. That's Woodson. And Woodson gets on the tackle late. That's actually Marcus Steele making the initial hit, and then the blitzing Woodson piles on top.
And Jake Plummer was right when he's talking about Darren Woodson coming up into the line of scrimmage. He is a fantastic player. This is Darren Woodson right in here, and he's going to be around the line of scrimmage a lot because they're going to try and shut down that Arizona running game completely. And a great job by Michael Myers against the big offensive guard, Leonard Davis. He ends up knocking him back into the backfield.
2nd and 9. Plummer, 3-step drop, throws it outside. Boston makes the catch. Well, it got on him quick. And Boston did a nice job of bringing it in before Hawthorne can get on.
And DeJuan Hawthorne, this is his first career start. So it's going to be interesting if David Boston can stay on him the entire game. I would expect David Boston to win a lot of matchups. But the one thing to remember is that the Cowboys do not play a lot of man-to-man. So he's going to get some help from the safeties, Woodson and Teague.
Here's a man-to-man situation coming up. 3rd down and 5.
And here's David Boston right here in the slot, matched up against Woodson.
Plummer from the shotgun. And he throws it outside to Frank Sanders. Sanders up to midfield. First down Cardinals. Sanders for 15 yards.
And this has been a big change for the Cardinals offense. Last year under offensive coordinator Mark Trestman, Jake Plummer said that he didn't really feel that we had a consistent game plan from week to week. He said we were trying to spread the ball out. He said this year we're hanging our hat on 2 things, giving the ball to Michael Pittman and getting the ball to David Boston.
Plummer 3 for 3 to start out. He has hit 3 different receivers. Here comes a blitz again from the Cowboys, and Pittman runs away from it, fumbles the football, but it's out of bounds. Dexter Coakley over there making a play along with Greg Ellis.
Here's Woodson matched up in the slot against Sanders. And this is what they're going to be doing. Along with Marcus Steele, Woodson comes from the backside of the run away from him. I would expect Dallas to do this a lot on 1st down to try and get the Cardinal offense in a lot of 2nd and 3rd and long situations. Darren Woodson did say, he said, look, we're going to be patient because we're going to expect them to make mistakes because they've always done it in the past.
2nd long, Plummer to Pittman, nowhere to go again. Dat Wynn making a tackle. And you're right, that's when Woodson, we talked to you, battled against Arizona for a while. You know Jake Plummer, you know this scheme. What do you got to do to win? He said, hey, just hang around. Just keep him on the field, keep him on the field, and you know eventually there's going to be a mistake from Plummer and company.
And you would think that being patient would mean a lot of blitzing, but so far in this ball game, they've been doing a lot of blitzing, and a lot of that has been Darren Woodson and Marcus Steele.
Woodson up close to the line again, up in the linebacker spot up top there. On 3rd and 10, Plummer scrambles. And he tries to slide short of the first down. Ran into Dat Wynn again.
And Jake Plummer said, hey, I haven't been hit a lot this year, but the coverage was pretty good. It was just a zone coverage. Frank Sanders going up the seam, and Coach Lee doing a good job of carrying that seam. George Teague over the top of both guys. Jake Plummer couldn't find anybody, uses his leg a little bit. But I tell you what, he is fortunate he did not get hurt because Dat Wynn hit him before he could get down.
And the leading tackler for the Cowboys. as Kenyon Rambo back to receive the Scott Player punt. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback, a 42-yard punt, but the 22-yard net. And the Cowboys and Clint Stoerner will get their first shot on offense when we come back.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
And then what are you going to do, the Cardinals?
Dallas Cowboys get their first shot on offense. Clint Stoerner, second year in the NFL, his first regular season start. Played some NFL Europe this past year. 10 games, led the Scotland Claymores to a 6-4 record, but this is the big time now.
Yeah, and he's not a tall guy. They list him at 6'2", but there's no way. I think he'd be lucky to be 6 foot.
Well, the trainer called him Opie on the way out when we were visiting on Friday, so that gives you any indication. Stoerner on 1st and 10. Play action. And he dumps it underneath to Emmitt Smith, and Smith shows a little power, gets a first down. Let's take a look at this Cowboy offense, which is ranked 3rd in the NFL in rushing. Doing very well up front with Adams, Allen, Stepnoski, Garmin, and Page. Backs and receivers, Rocket Ismail and Joey Galloway. The wide receivers, Smith and Troy Hambrick in the backfield. Jackie Harris is the tight end. See this offensive line, they've been outstanding. 3rd in the NFL in rushing and have allowed just 7 sacks in 137 pass attempts. That's pretty good. Emmitt Smith gets the corner, picks up about 3 yards. And Jeff, we were impressed with this offensive line.
You got to start with Larry Allen. Larry Allen's probably, in my opinion, the best guard that's ever played the game. He's a monster guy that's got wheels. He pulls better than any offensive guard, and he's got more strength than any offensive guard. It was funny talking to Troy Hambrick. He said, he says, I'm learning how to run the football. He goes, I watch Emmitt. He says, and the one thing that Emmitt does, he sticks his nose right up behind Larry Allen and just follows him.
Yeah, he said he's starting to know where all them yards that Emmitt has are coming from. 2nd and 6. Stoerner play action again. Shoots it low and outside, incomplete. He was looking for Galloway. Let's take a look at that Arizona defense, and this is a group that is ranked 30th in the NFL. They've had injuries up front. It's Burke, Tanner Davis, and the rookie Fred Wakefield today. Linebackers Fredrickson and McKinnon, and Sekou Sanyika is making his initial NFL start in for Raynoch Thompson. We talked about his problems earlier. Corey Chavis and David Barrett are the corners. Lucas and Lassiter are the safeties, and if you want to point to one guy, it's Kwame Lassiter.
Yeah, he's a good player, but on 3rd down is where they're at right here. This is where they missed the rookie Kyle Vanden Bosch because he was their best pass rusher.
3rd and 6. Stoerner from the shotgun. Misses over the middle, incomplete, trying to hit the rocket. He was off the mark again, and he's hearing the boos here in Texas Stadium.
And a little change. Actually, Sharon Dorsey is in for right tackle Solomon Page. Clint Stoerner had plenty of time to deliver this ball. Just a little bit out in front. And remember, he has not had a lot of time to work timing with his wide receivers. When you're the third quarterback, you'd be lucky to go.
With a little action up to the 28-yard line. Brought down by Jamal Brooks, and the Arizona Cardinals will get their second crack with the football when we come back.
Box.
Ryan Leaf on the bench there, trying to look over what happened in that last series. We may well see him as the Cowboys quarterback if things aren't continue to go that way for Clint Stoerner.
Talking to Coach Dave Campo, he said that if we're way ahead or way behind, we probably will see Ryan Leaf. But I would think that if Clint Stoerner is not having a whole lot of success, that we will see Ryan Leaf as well.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Plummer, he's back to throw. Pump fake. And now he dumps it down. This is Makovica. And he'll get about 7 yards. Right now, let's go to Los Angeles for an NFL game break. Here's JB.
Ray and Jeff. Back to Ray and Jeff.
Thank you, JB. Another exciting game going on at St. Louis and New Orleans game going down to the wire. And here's another 2 4-1 upstart teams going at it.
The doubters should not be doubting the Chicago Bears anymore.
2nd and 2, a counter play. Pittman with room up the middle. And Pittman with a first down as Marcus Steele makes the tackle. And that offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals, we talked at the top about how this is where Dave McGinnis felt he had to rebuild, and rebuild he's done, and he's built it big.
Oh, he's built it real big. And if you look at the average weight, 327 pounds, you've got to take into account that Grudadoria is only 284 and Pete Candle's 294. So the other three guys are the ones that making the average go way up.
That tilts to the right, and that's Anthony Clement, who is at 350, and Leonard Davis at 370. That'll boost your average up a little bit. Plummer throws the out, complete to Boston. First down for the Cardinals. And you know, we're talking about that offensive line, and they really are the new breed of an offensive line, because here's what it is every 10 years from 1971.
And even today at 308 pounds, and the Cardinals dwarf it. I mean, they're way above that average.
They're 10 years or so ahead of 20 years ahead of their time.
Yeah, they're about average for what it's going to be in 2011.
And there's the biggest one, Leonard Davis.
And they're athletic as well.
Woodson on the blitz again, runs it right into reverse with Boston. Zellner can't get him, and Boston gets another first down up the sideline. 12 yards on the pickup. The reverse to David Boston, running away from the blitz.
And I think this goes to show you that Rich Olson, the offensive coordinator, is doing a good job. Here he comes, David Boston. When you have star players like Michael Pittman and David Boston, you have to find creative ways to get the ball into their hands, and Rich Olson has done a good job of that this year. And you can ignore that right there. That's not even close.
Now Boston's one of those big guys too, 237 pounds as a wide receiver. And there should be a rule against that. Pittman on the cutback breaks the tackle from Steele and gets it up to the 32-yard line.
You will not find a tougher runner in the National Football League than Michael Pittman. In fact, Jake Plummer said, I've had conversations with Michael before and said, hey, you need to stay in the game for me. In other words, he means that a lot of times when you're trying to take it to the defenders, be smart sometimes and just turn down the contact so that you can have a little self-preservation going on.
Right, Pittman knocked himself out pretty much early in the Chicago game. 2nd and 6. Mitchell, the tight end, across, and now the draw to Pittman. He is stopped immediately, and we'll stop right now and go to Los Angeles. Let's find out what happened in that Bears game.
Ray and Jeff.
Thank you, JB. How about that for some excitement?
It could not be happening to a better head coach. Dick Duran is as fine a man as you'll ever meet.
Bears to 5-1. It's 3rd and long here for Jake Plummer, and it breaks down, and Plummer's got a lot of room to scramble. Plummer all the way up near the 10-yard line where he takes his slide. Second big scramble on the day for Plummer. He picked up 22 yards on that one, and that's a X factor in your offense.
It is when you've got a guy that can move. And here's Darren Woodson coming in on the blitz. Now I want you to watch what happens to Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson, meet number 75, and they call him big. His name is Leonard Davis.
And he is big.
Just absolutely stones him, and then just pushes him down. Leonard Davis is the new breed of offensive line.
1st and 10, Pittman swarmed under. He loses the football, but he'll be marked down, and Woodson was in that pile again.
Hey, Ray.
Current drive, 8 plays, 60 yards. A big 3rd down conversion on the Plummer scramble kept this thing alive. And Jake Plummer's playing very well right now. He's got 2 carries for 28 yards. He's 5 of 5 passing for 49. See the Cardinals. They've scored 8 out of 11 times in the red zone. They keep it on the ground, cut back, nowhere to go on the backside. That's Dexter Coakley.
And just for a minute, you would have thought that Michael Pittman had made a nice cut. But I want you to watch how quickly the Dallas defenders close the gap. Look at this hole right there. You would think he's got time, but no. What a great fill by Zellner Myers and also Dexter Coakley.
10th play of the drive coming up as you see Dexter Coakley. out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. 40 tackles and 1 forced fumble on the season. Here's a big one now. 3rd down and 10. Excuse me, 3rd and 8 from the 10. Plummer. It was batted at the line, incomplete to Frank Sanders.
And Brandon Noble is the guy who got the batted pass. This is Brandon Noble lined up, and he loops out to the right side, all the way outside the defensive end, and just gets enough on the ball. Went all the way outside Byron Frisch in a little game. That's one thing the Cowboys have had to do. They've had to do a little stunning because their pass rush hasn't been as strong as they'd like to have.
But they do hustle and run around up front, and that's just a hustle play from Noble knocking it out. So it's a 27-yard field goal attempt from Bill Gramatica, and that's good. And we have our first score here in Texas. It is 3-0 Arizona over Dallas. .6'6", 370-pound rookie out of Texas, Leonard Davis, and he's like the Undertaker in wrestling. Watch this hit.
Yeah, this is the game against Chicago. Watch it. Watch Leonard Davis slam safety Mike Brown to the ground. I guarantee you that every safety in the league is going to see that when they come into play Leonard Davis. And don't you know that Darren Woodson was thinking for a minute there that I'm going to end up looking like Mike Brown.
And he did to some extent. It wasn't as bad as the Brown hit, but Leonard Davis is a man out there. I mean, he's incredible. He was a man. Returns the kick, and Rambo has a little bit of room, and now the flag comes down as Rambo gets a 20-yard return, and we'll see what the penalty is.
It looks like it's going to be a clip on Michael Wiley. The illegal block in the back.
Ron Blum is our referee today.
Legal block in the back. Number 56, Dallas, during the return. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Dallas. Timeout.
Arantes Grant is the one who was guilty, and we'll take a break right now. The Cowboys, their second chance with the ball. They trail 3-zip.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by GMC. From professional grade people come professional grade trucks. By Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. By your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by WorldCom Generation D.
Clint Stoerner making his first NFL start here for the Cowboys. He's 1 of 3 for 11 yards in the first quarter. They keep it on the ground to Emmitt Smith, and Smith gets up to the 12-yard line before he is brought down. And coming up next, it's game 2 of the World Series presented by Budweiser, with a matchup of 2 dominating lefties. Andy Pettit and the Yankees look to even the series against Randy Johnson and a Diamondbacks team trying to go up 2-0 before heading back to the Bronx. It's game 2 of the World Series. It begins next here on Fox.
I can't imagine the Yankees thinking they're going to get even, and all of a sudden you've got to face Randy Johnson.
Yeah, it's not an easy date, that's for sure. 2nd and 6. Hambrick with a couple. You talked about Randy Johnson. Andy Pettit, he's the American League Player of the Year. So I mean, this is something else. Some of the matchup for tonight's game. I mean, last night was great. Now look at here tonight.
But the one thing that I think of though is that Randy Johnson has had a 1.88 ERA all season long and in the playoffs, whereas Pettit seems to have improved in the playoffs. But as far as consistency goes, Randy Johnson is the guy.
It's going to be a good one, and that is coming up next here on Fox. 3rd down and 5. Stoerner with time. He unloads outside, incomplete, and it's knocked away by David Barrett. Barrett stepped right in front. It's fortunate for the Cowboys that Rocket Ismail broke it up, because it could have went the other way.
Yeah, real fortunate. And that's one thing that Clint Stoerner does not have, is a strong arm. When you're talking about throwing out routes like that, you've got to be able to put some velocity on it. That's got to be a scary call for offensive coordinator Jack Riley.
Arnold Jackson back to receive the 2nd Micah Noah punt of the day. Noah in his end zone for this one. Low line drive punt, a returnable ball. Jackson from his own 47 slips down in Cowboy territory. Nothing here, Arizona over Dallas. As you look at some of the early game headlines, Kurt Warner suffers his first career home loss up there in St. Louis, but they're still in first place.
And the Saints, though, they believe that they're a tougher team than the Rams.
He proved it today. You see Corey Dillon ran all over the only winless team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, and then Keenan McCardell in a losing effort for Jacksonville. A huge day for him, but Baltimore pulled that game out 18-17. First and 10, Plummer to the air. Throws it underneath to Makovicka as a flag comes down as Makovicka goes down at the 40-yard line. And that flag is thrown in the offensive backfield, and that's generally indicative of a holding type infraction. And that's what we get the initial signal from Ron Blum.
Holding, number 75, Arizona, 10 yards, repeat first down.
They got the big boy.
That's Leonard Davis against Mike Myers at the defensive tackle spot. And watch when Myers tries to go inside. Leonard Davis does the old, ooh.
Oh, man.
He snatches him, and then he has to add insult to injury and throw 370 pounds on top of his back with the belly flop.
Yeah, he broke him over the knee, and then he put the pancake on him.
Oh, that's got to hurt.
That did hurt.
That's going to leave a mark.
Leonard Davis is going to wear you out before it's over. Here, first and 20. Plummer on play action with pressure. Sets up the screen, almost picked off. And that was Big John Nix down there beating up the football. You know, we talked about Leonard Davis and what he is compared to the average man. And here's Leonard on the left side. And they call him big, and he's a bird because he's a Cardinal. You look at his numbers compared to the average male. Some disparity there.
What a differential. Size 18 shoe.
And the average shoe is a 10.5. And his shoes are so big. Yes. We were talking to Rob Fredrickson. He says he can only fit 3 pair of shoes in his locker.
He's going to see if he can get it out here.
Plummer dumps it outside to Thomas Jones.
Okay, and I got a report on Terry
Jones knocked out of bounds.
Yeah.
Number 26, Thomas Jones on the reception.
In another shoe story for Leonard Davis, they have Scott Player's shoes, and they talked about his. He's got a size. I'm not sure what the size is, but he can fit his shoe inside of Leonard Davis's shoe. Can Scott Player? So this is a big guy.
And you're not talking a B or a C width. You're talking about double, triple E's. And the guy wears 4 or 5X shoulder pad. I didn't even know they made him that big.
Special order on 3rd and 14. First quarter winding down. Plummer hits it up underneath to Frank Sanders. Fumbles the football. Picked up by Mario Edwards. And this is going to be Cowboy football.
And that's what this Cowboys team needs, is some turnovers to give the young quarterback, Stoerner, more chances in this ball game. It's going to take him a while to find a groove.
This is what Darren Woodson talked about. Just wait for him to make a mistake.
The Cowboys have been very good this year at getting fumbles out. The one thing they haven't done is get many interceptions.
Looks like that win. I'm sorry, you're right. Coakley, 52, knocked it out.
Mario Edwards picks it up. Big play for the Cowboys.
2 seconds left in the first quarter. Stoerner goes on the ground, and they run the reverse, and here comes the rocket. And Ishmael's got room, tripped up by Lucas, but he gets it into Cardinal territory. So the Cowboys get a little bit of momentum at the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Arizona, and Fox NFL Sunday will continue from Dallas after these messages. Arizona up 3-0 over the Dallas Cowboys, but the Cowboys have wrested momentum from Arizona here early on in the ball game. Started the second quarter. Cowboys have the ball in Arizona territory for the first time at the 45, 1st and 10, and Clint Stoerner hands it off to Hambrick. Hambrick takes it up the middle. Ray Bentley along here with Jeff Lageman. Jeff, it was pretty much Arizona, and then they Cowboys took the momentum there at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they did. And talking to Dave McGinnis before the game, he said, hey, look, one of the biggest things for us to have success is to eliminate the mistakes, and that's penalties, and the other thing is turnovers. Turnovers is the single most determining factor in any football game. Well, now you've got about 33 consecutive games where the Cardinals have had a turnover.
That's right. In fact, it is 33 consecutive games now for Arizona, turning the football over, and Dallas is on the move after taking it away. And now completion down the end to Joey Galloway, a gain of 18, and Clint Stoerner, his biggest play as a Cowboy.
There was a big question mark whether Joey Galloway was going to play in this ball game. You know, the one thing you'd like to have when you've got a young quarterback is a group up front that's getting the job done. Look at the protection up front by Garmin, Stepnoski, and Larry Allen. And watch Galloway. He's working against Corey Chavis. And the one thing about this play is Galloway does a nice job of pushing Corey Chavis upfield, so when he comes back, he's got a good bit of space between himself and Chavis.
Stoerner fumbles the snap, picks it back up. Pump fake, and now he's got a wide open tight end Harris in the end zone, and he misses. And right now we'll take a shot out to Los Angeles. Here's JB.
Ray and Jeff, take a look at Eric Metcalf, just signed on Wednesday. You remember before he was with Schottenheimer in Cleveland. 89-yard punt return. He takes it to pay dirt. 12 career returns for a touchdown. That is an NFL record, and surprisingly, Skins on top of the Giants, 14-0. Ray Bentley, Jeff Lageman.
Thank you, JB. You get your guys in, things happen.
I played high school football against Eric Metcalf, and he is a very talented individual. You just show up and then return a punt for a touchdown. Amazing.
That is amazing. Cowboys, Emmitt Smith off the left side, inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. And the Cowboys have a nice little drive going here. As you look at the first quarter in the stats there, Dallas only had the ball for 8 plays in the first quarter. So Arizona's, you know, that's the thing that they've wanted to do, control the football. They feel that that's how their football team is now, and they were able to do so here in the first quarter.
And then the one thing that's just killing the Cowboys, and it has been all year, is 11 yards passing. 2 plays ago, Clint Stoerner had an opportunity to hit the tight end, Jackie Harris, up the sideline for 6, and he missed him.
3rd and 5, blitz comes, Stoerner runs the inside pitch, and this is Michael Wiley for the first down.
That's the kind of thing that they're going to have to do if they're going to have success with Clint Stoerner, the old shovel pass. And this is Wiley right here in the formation. He just runs up underneath. And, you know, I think the reason that this play works for the Cowboys now is because the Cowboys have been running options in the past with Anthony Wright and Quincy Carter. So a lot of teams, when they see that action, are thinking option right away.
Right, and the option was inside rather than outside.
Exactly, and that was a nice play for the Cowboys. We'll get it, we'll get it, we'll get it.
So the ball is just outside the 10-yard line, so the Cowboys can get a first down. 1st and 10, Harris comes back in, and blitz comes again. He loses the football. Clint Stoerner fumbled his 2nd snap on this series, and it's going to be Arizona ball from the initial signal, and it is.
That's the 2nd time that he's had problems with the snap from Mark Stepnoski. And you're not talking a young center here. You're talking an experienced center. The ball comes up, Stoerner comes out, comes without it. You know, and one thing about, we were talking to Corey Chavis, and he did mention about Stoerner's problems in the past with getting snaps.
3-0 Arizona.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by DirecTV, the #1 satellite entertainment provider. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By Burger King, home of the Whopper. And by Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Clint Stoerner's fumble cost the Cowboys their first good opportunity of the day. Arizona takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 9. Pittman, he's got both hands on the ball. He is thrown down by Marcus Steele. But in that last Cowboy drive, after they recovered a fumble, Clint Stoerner fumbled twice. The second one they lost, and now he's trying to work it out with center Mark Stepnoski. But I think this is on Stoerner.
And look at Stoerner when he's up under center, and he's actually starting to back away before he gets all of the ball. And his lower hand actually drops about 8 to 10 inches away from his upper hand. To me, that's Stoerner's fault.
Yeah, and his hands aren't up in there far enough, and you also, when the center's got to fire out, so you've got to ride him with those hands, and Stoerner didn't do that. Plummer, play action. He dumps it underneath. Caught by Boston. Look at the strength of David Boston, breaking a couple of tackles, but now he is corralled, and it's a short gain on the play.
A nice effort by David Boston, breaking the tackle from Dexter Coakley. And believe it or not, David Boston weighs more than Dexter Coakley. David Boston is 237 pounds, and Coakley is only 230 pounds. And Coakley comes up and gives him a good shot, and Boston, he bounces off of Boston like it was no big deal.
And there's David Boston, and you see he's 6'2", 237. The Dallas linebackers average 6 foot, 236. He's bigger than the Cowboy average linebacker. That's a load for a wide receiver. Plummer underneath to Boston, and Boston gets the first down, makes a move, and gets it up to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 12. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines, and here is our sideline reporter for today, DJ Johnson. DJ.
Hey, guys. Cardinals tight end Terry Hardy was taken into the locker room to have x-rays done on his shoulder. When he returned, of course, he wanted to go back in, but the doctor worked it around for a while and said, you cannot raise your arm high enough to go back in right now. So they're going to ice him for now. His return is questionable. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, DJ. And Tywan Mitchell is the replacement for Terry Hardy at tight end.
And I think he's probably a little bit better of a player for the Cardinal offense because he's more of a receiving threat.
You see Mitchell go in motion. Plummer zips it in, and it's incomplete. Tried to hit Marte Jenkins, and he had some heat on that one, and Jenkins, his arms got short. Yeah. A lot of traffic in there.
Yeah, his arms got real short. I think he saw number 28 standing back there and was thinking that he was going to get hit in the mouth.
See Plummer's numbers here on the day, 9 of 12 for 78 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. And we talked to Jake Plummer. He's got 2 consecutive games where he hasn't thrown interceptions. And you asked him about that, and he said, next question.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about it a whole lot, but the one thing the Cardinals haven't been able to do here today is run the football. Cowboys are dominating them in the running game.
Pittman tries to get outside, and again, nowhere to go as the Dallas defense is there. Right now, it's 14 carries, 54 yards for that Cardinal running game.
When you're playing the Arizona Cardinals offense, you know that they're going to be big up front, so you've got to be able to get penetration and keep from getting pushed off the ball. Michael Myers got pushed off the ball. But the one thing about the Dallas defense, their linebackers are quick and they are fast. So if you're going to get a hole, you've got to hit it fast.
Third and 8. Plummer ducks, stays alive, gets a block, and now he lays it down short of the first down. Plummer ducked it. It was like he was expecting to get hit, and he didn't. Stood back up and tried to make something happen.
Yeah, and Plummer's telling Tywan Mitchell that don't block behind me, get out in front. And here's Woodson covering Tywan Mitchell. Look at Woodson coming up. He was ready to make a play on Plummer. He's pointing right there to tell Tywan Mitchell, don't worry about what's behind me. I'll outrun that. Get out in front so I can get a first down.
They come up 2 yards short. Gets a block, but it was a clip, and a second flag comes in, and Rambo, a lot of excitement, runs out of bounds, but this thing's going to come back. That's Kobe Reinhart laying on the ground. He was the victim of one of those illegal blocks.
I tell you what, he took a big shot from Jason Bell. And if they threw a flag on that block, in my opinion, it was a good, clean block. That was it.
Yeah, the clip came prior to that.
During the return, holding 55, Dallas, 10 yards, timeout.
Marcus Steele. He's caught holding. We've got an injury timeout. Arizona up 3-0.
You go back and you look at the return, the clip actually comes from Marcus Steele, actually gets this guy right there. That's the clip. It's more of a tackle. But I'm telling you what, Reinhardt is fortunate right there to walk off of the field. He's okay, but you've got to have your head on a swivel.
Big hole for Emmitt Smith off to the left side. Smith for 13 yards. Justin Lucas brings him down. And Emmitt now with 4 carries, 25 yards on the day.
And Emmitt Smith kind of came out of a shell a little bit Monday night against the Redskins. Prior to the Redskins game, he was averaging 1.7 yards per carry. That's not very good. That's not what you would expect from a Hall of Fame guy. But after the Redskins game, now he's averaging 3.6.
And he had a couple of big runs taken back due to penalties in that Redskin game. And here's Smith again off to the left side. Give him 7 more. And Emmitt Smith starting to heat up here for the Cowboys.
The other thing that's happened with this Dallas backfield is Robert Thomas had ankle surgery and is gone for the year. So what they did is they actually moved Emmitt's backup, Troy Hambrick, over to fullback. And he's doing a pretty good job so far in the game, and he's getting a few carries. But sometime throughout this game, Troy Hambrick will be the tailback and will get some carries because he is a very talented running back.
2nd and 2. We talked to Hambrick, and he said he's been eating like crazy trying to build himself back up to fullback weight. He weighs in at 237. And here's Galloway on a quick screen on the backside, and he'll get the first down.
And a nice play by who I think is what might be Arizona's best defender so far this year, and that's Kwame Lassiter. I mean, this guy, game in and game out, he's been there for the Cardinals. 3 interceptions on the year. He's good against the run. He's as complete a safety as you could want. There's not a whole lot of free safeties that like to hit, as you can tell by the other side of the field.
Well, you aren't talking about George Teague, are you?
Maybe.
But Lassiter has taken the leadership mantle for this defense now that Aeneas Williams is gone as well. As Smith on the cutback. David Barrett and Lassiter in on the stop. But Emmitt Smith, his 3rd carry on this drive, and he's got to heat it up a little bit, and he's following Troy Hambrick.
And Hambrick, the one thing that they've changed a little bit, and a few weeks ago, they actually were doing a lot of bounce running, that zone scheme that the Denver Broncos had made famous. Well, talking to Mark Stepnoski, he said, you know, the coaches sometimes have too much time to think. They got rid of it. Now it's downhill again, and that's what Emmitt does best.
He runs best between the tackles, without a doubt. 2nd and 4, and he'll run it outside behind Larry Allen. And Allen just mauls Corey Chavis, and Emmitt Smith gets the first down behind him.
This play all started by the block of Troy Hambrick. This is him in motion, and take a look at the block that he's going to get on LeVar Woods on the edge of the defense. He just collapses LeVar Woods and allows Larry Allen to get out in front. I can't imagine being a defensive back and seeing number 73, all 6'3", 326 pounds, coming full speed at me. I'd probably feel like George Teague every now and again.
1st and 10. And this is Hambrick in the backfield, and Hambrick shows you why he's a top runner. He gets to, hey, you throw a few blocks, we'll give you the football, pick up 9 yards.
Well, you've got to throw your dog a bone every now and again. And when the guy's playing fullback, what they do is they move Huggins in at fullback and give Emmitt a rest, and Troy comes in and gets the toss play. The interesting thing, though, that Dave Campos said about Troy Hambrick, he said in the past he's just been a change-up back. He says, but right now, because we're very comfortable getting Troy in critical situations. That's a lot of confidence in a young back.
And Hambrick stays in that tailback spot on 2nd and 2. Cowboys' 7th play of the drive. They stay on the ground, and Hambrick picks up the first down. McKinnon makes the tackle, and Troy Hambrick loses his helmet, but he ain't losing his head.
He's a fun guy to talk to, and you would think that the release of his brother this week, Darren, the linebacker, would have had a big effect on him. And Troy, up to be quite honest, said, you know, it probably will be good for him. He's got to learn from it and move on. And of course, Darren Hambrick got picked up by the Carolina Panthers. It has not left a bad taste in Troy's mouth whatsoever.
And it was handled professionally. He said Jerry Jones called him and told him this is what we're going to do. And he said he felt good about it anyway. I mean, as good as you can, but he understood. This one incomplete to Galloway, as Cowboys have been getting it done on the ground. They throw a pass in there, and Stoerner now 4 of 9 on the day for 42 yards.
And Galloway against Corey Chavis, the Cardinals cornerback, and he's playing off a little bit, respecting Galloway's speed. The Dallas Cowboys are a tremendous running football team. They need to find a way to get better in the passing game because they haven't been doing it at all.
And it's timeout on the field. We'll take it as well. 3-0 Arizona.
Then I had it 7.
Arizona up 3-0. You look at the passing yards for the Cowboys. Last in the NFL, 115 yards. So far today, 42 yards on 4 of 9 for Clint Stoerner. They've done it on the ground this drive. Here's Emmitt Smith back in, and Smith cuts back and give him 3 more. And this has been a good drive for Emmitt Smith in the Cowboy ground game.
And Emmitt has been solid today. He's been running hard. And I don't know if Emmitt Smith early in this season was running hard on every play like he can. But today he is running hard. This drive, 6.8 yard average. Having a real good day. Now he's out, and then all of a sudden you bring in the changeup. Back, and instead of Hambrick, now it's Michael Wiley, who really has become a 3rd down specialist back for the Cowboys.
3rd and 7. And Stoerner shows you some moves, and Clint Stoerner picks up the 1st down on a quarterback draw. 13 yards on the ground for Stoerner.
And he is a mobile guy. We asked him if they'd had the option in the game plan. He said, no, I don't run the option very well. But the quarterback draw is something that's pretty well. And look at Stepnoski, does a nice job of putting number 72, Jabari Issa, on the ground, opening up the middle of the defense so that he can get through and down the field. Nice job by Clint Stoerner. Real nice job.
Keeping the drive alive. 11th play of this drive for the Cowboys. 60 yards, chewed up on the ground, and they're going for more with Emmitt Smith, and he is stopped in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Ronald McKinnon got him down. The initial penetration from Baron Tanner.
We talked to Dave McGinnis about his defense and them having to trick it up. Well, the Cowboys offense is having to trick it up as well today.
You saw Larry Allen on the sideline. He's out. We'll find out about that. 2-minute warning here in Dallas. 3-0 Arizona.
Fox NFL Sunday, brought to you by UPS, moving at the speed of business.
We started modernizing.
On the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. 12th play of this drive. Stoerner, his pass is batted away, and now it's incomplete. And that's a nice job on the defense there by Fred Wakefield. The rookie got his hands up.
We saw Larry Allen go off the field, and he was over there with an oxygen mask, and I think one of the big reasons for this is because of the long drive. Nice job by Fred Wakefield of getting his hands up in the air. Something to remember, Stoerner's not a very tall guy, but he's got to find the lanes to throw it through.
Wakefield's tall, 6'7". 3rd and 14. Ishmael in motion, ends up in the backfield. And he's an outlet, and they throw it over there. Stoerner hits Ishmael. Big block from Allen, and Ishmael gets it down close to the 1st down. And Larry Allen sent Corey Chavis into the bench area.
Unbelievable. And we talk about the Cowboys wanting to trick it up. Well, here it is again, tricking it up. Ishmael, and look at Larry Allen. Look at the block that he gets on Ronaldo Hill. Here he is. And watch Larry Allen get out in front. There he is. There he goes right there. What a devastating block. The Dallas Cowboys are tricking it up to have success, just like the Cardinals felt they had to do to have success.
And a timeout is taken by the Cowboys. They have 1 left. They're knocking on the door, but they trail by 3.
Season premiere Sunday, November 11th on Fox.
4th and 2, and the Cowboys elect to go for the field goal to tie it up potentially as Tim Cedar. You see 7 of 11 on the year. This one coming from 31 yards. Cedar has the only rushing touchdown on the year for the Cowboys, but he kicks it this time. And it's up and it's good, and we're all tied up here. 3-3, a big drive for the Cowboys, featuring Emmitt Smith prominently on this drive. And it's Emmitt Smith Day here as DJ Johnson has that story. DJ.
Yeah, guys, the Cowboy consecutive game sellout streak now stands at 92. But earlier this week, they were in danger of not reaching 92 until a promotion called Catch 22. Now, this promotion, Catch 22, it's a $35 package deal where you get a ticket to the game, a hot dog, a soda, and Emmitt Smith. Get the bobblehead Emmitt Smith doll, and it's been a big thing here. Everyone wants one. They've almost kicked my rear end on the sideline trying to steal it from me, but I asked Emmitt about it earlier. He said, well, I don't think it looks exactly like me, but it's a great honor. Not many people get to have this done in their likeness, and he loves it. The fans love it. It's been a great deal for the Cowboys here. Back up to you guys.
Hey, DJ, you can keep the bobblehead doll. How about bringing me that hot dog up here?
There you go.
All yours, Jeff, all yours.
Getting a little hungry. It's
That's
halftime.
right, halftime. Sustenance is on the return. And Jenkins gets it up to the 27-yard line. A 20-yard return for Marte Jenkins. Izell Reese made the tackle. And that was a great drive for the Cowboys. Coming into today's game, they had just 5 drives of 10 plays or longer. You see this one, a 14-play, 74 yards, 6 minutes 53 seconds off the clock. And Big Larry Allen had to take a blow in that one.
That's how you could tell that it was a long drive, because Larry Allen was on the sideline getting oxygen. And right here, you know, with a minute left before the half, Jake Plummer talked about the corners being subpar for Dallas. Well, he needs to get after him here in this 2-minute drive.
Plummer goes from the shotgun on 1st and 10 and dumps it underneath, and Pittman can't hold it. And Pittman, I think, was hearing little footsteps. He was looking for Michael Myers.
One reason that they're having a hard time of getting the matchups that they want is because Dallas has been doing a good job of stopping Arizona's run early in this ball game, and it's allowing Dallas to play a lot of cover 2. And what cover 2 is that you're only playing 7 guys up in the box, and your safeties are deep. Well, that gives the safeties a chance to double up your wideouts to help your cornerbacks, and that's been what Dallas has been doing.
Plummer, 3-step slant, complete to Boston. Boston slammed down hard by Pat Dennis after a gain of 11. Arizona moves the chains. They're in the hurry-up mode. Cardinals with 3 timeouts remaining. 40 seconds left here to play in the first half. Plummer gets it batted away. Greg Ellis got the hands on it, almost picked it off.
And Greg Ellis is their best defensive lineman that they have. He does a good job in the running game at the end spot, and on 3rd down, he's moving into the defensive tackle spot with Michael Myers, and they bring in Byron Frisch to the outside. And they're doing a nice job. Now, this is what I'm talking about cover 2 and not having success on the outside. Those 2 guys, Darren Woodson and George Teague, are helping out the cornerbacks, Hawthorne as well as Mario Edwards. When you've got those safeties over the top, it's hard to get deep on corners.
You got 5 underneath. It's hard to get it in there, but Plummer does. Complete to Frank Sanders, 14 yards, and the Cardinals use their first timeout. We'll take one as well. 3-3 here in Dallas.
Great.
Cover 2. Here's Teague and here's Woodson over here, and what they're doing is covering halves of the field. Well, when they're doing that, they're over the top, taking the big plays away. This is the area that you have to work, the underneath. You've got to be patient, something that Jake Plummer in the past has not been, but he's doing it today.
Cover 2 again. Plummer rolls it outside. It's complete to Marte Jenkins. Jenkins gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 19 seconds left here in the first half. Cardinals now in Cowboy territory. Ball marked at the 44-yard line. They need about 15 yards to get into field goal range.
Well, and you got to remember one thing, that Bill Gramatica, their kicker, has got a pretty strong leg.
Yeah, maybe they could get it in 5 yards. You know, you get 15 and you're kicking from right around that 50-yard mark. Gramatica hit a 65-yarder in college. Sanders, first down, and the Cardinals will use their second timeout. They've got one left. We'll take another one as well. 3-3. The score here in Texas.
Left, he can throw the ball in between the sidelines, but just do not turn the ball over.
Plummer on a 3-step. Now he dumps it underneath, and it is picked off. Picked off by DeJuan Hawthorne.
And that is not Jake Plummer's fault. Tywan Mitchell, who's right here in the formation, comes across. And Jake Plummer has to find him late. The ball is right there in the chest. And with Tywan bobbling the ball, it gives DeJuan Hawthorne an opportunity to make a play.
Hawthorne in his first NFL start gets his first NFL interception. Thwarts a Cardinal drive with 6 seconds left here. All tied up. And it was all Arizona early in the first quarter. The Cowboys only ran 8 plays in that first quarter. They got a turnover there right at the quarter change. Got a little momentum back. Clint Stoerner had a nice drive where they mostly ran the football. But that is the end of the first half. Arizona 3, Dallas 3. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue from the studio after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. The score here at halftime, Arizona 3, Dallas 3, and DJ Johnson caught up with Cowboy coach Dave Campo on the way to the locker room. DJ.
Coach Campo, you have a quarterback starting for the first time in Texas Stadium. How do you think he's fared so far?
Well, I think he's handled himself pretty well. We've moved the ball all the way down the field 2 or 3 times. We just haven't come up with any points. That fumbled snap, you know, that was critical in this first half. We need more points.
So that was you tell your team at the half?
Yeah, we need to come out and get something going. We're moving all over the place. When we get inside the 20-yard line, we got to get some points. There's no question.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks, DJ. We'll return for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Welcome back to Texas Stadium. It's 3-3 at halftime. Ray Bentley along with Jeff Lageman. And Jeff, not much offense in this game. It's been a little sloppy. Some turnovers have really hurt the Cowboys early on.
You're talking, especially with the Cowboys, you're not talking a high-powered offense. And then when you start adding turnovers to the mix, you make it a completely ineffective offense. And the fumbled snap by Clint Stoerner was a big one. The first one didn't cost him anything, but the second one cost him potentially 7 points. And Jake Plummer in this game, Sanders with a critical error, and that continued the fumble streak, as well as you've got the interception, but it was not Jake Plummer's fault, the intention ball for Tywan Mitchell.
Right, and that came at the end of the half where the Cardinals were driving, trying to get into Gramatica field goal position. They were there, and next to the last play to the half, an interception, not Jake Plummer's fault.
Yeah, they basically had an opportunity for 3 points. They were close enough, so Gramatica had an opportunity. But all of a sudden, then you turn the ball over, it eliminates that opportunity. You know, statistically speaking, again, the Cowboys are just having a hard time throwing the football. And you're talking against a defense that's missing 4 starters on the Cardinals.
Jake Plummer has thrown the 1 interception that we talked about, and interceptions have been the bane of his career. And you see when it's tied up, that's when he throws the fewest amounts of interceptions. But boy, when they're trailing 65 times, he's thrown it. And that's just a product twofold. I think one, you're trying to catch up, you know, and so you're going to throw the ball more, and also you're going to take more chances. We'll see what kind of chances he takes here in the second half as Kenyon Rambo takes his chance with the return, and he's stopped here at the 27-yard line, a 19-yard return. And coming out of the tunnel, DJ Johnson caught up with Dave McGinnis here before the start of this half. DJ.
Coach McGinnis, you're missing 4 defensive starters in this game, but they fared pretty well so far.
Well, they're hanging in there. We're letting them run the football on us too easy, DJ, and we've got to get something going with our running game. And plus, you know, you can't turn the ball over. Now, we got a turnover that helped us, but we've got to run the football on offense, and we've got to find some way to stop them from running the football. They controlled it too much during that second quarter.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach. Back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, DJ. 1st and 10, Cowboys. Clint Stoerner, play action. And it breaks down, and Stoerner is going to be sacked. Fred Wakefield flipped his ankle. That's the first time Stoerner's been sacked today.
Head coach Dave McGinnis talked about the importance of doing a better job of stopping the run of Dallas. But if you think about it, it's not costing them any points. You know, Dallas has not had a rushing touchdown all year long. So, I mean, Dallas is not going to put you away by running the football. They've got to develop something in their passing game. As long as the Cardinals can keep them from doing that defensively, they'll have success.
On 2nd and 13, they go to the ground with Emmitt Smith. Smith makes the first man miss, which he's done most of his career. Picks up a couple, and he's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Coming up next, it's Game 2 of the World Series, presented by Budweiser, a matchup of 2 dominating lefties. The Yankees look to even the series against the Diamondbacks. Game 2 of the World Series beginning next here on Fox.
Here brings up, this is a 3rd and 9 situation, a perfect opportunity to maybe get a turnover yourself defensively if you're Dave McGinnis by blitzing. But they're choosing to go into only a 3-down lineman. Look.
And they bring 4 out of that look, and Stoerner. He has time. He goes over the middle, and it's complete. This one to Ismail. 20 yards on the hookup, and Stoerner looked pretty good on the play action.
The Rockets at the top of the screen right here, matched up against Corey Chavis, the right cornerback, and he is in a trail technique. With knowing it, he's got help from Kwame Lassiter over the top. But the one thing that Ismail does is bends the route in, and the Darren Chiaverini had already run off Dustin Lucas, so he didn't have any help.
Ismail, 2 catches, 32 yards on the day. Stoerner back to the air. He unloads this one. He's going deep. And it's incomplete. He was looking for Galloway, and now the flag comes out on the play. Chavis with the coverage. He doesn't agree with it.
And this is a good call. Corey Chavis, before the ball even got there, grabbed him and held him up.
That's it. Pass interference. A big one against the
Pass
Cardinals.
interference, 25, Arizona. First down, Dallas.
47-yard penalty.
As you'll see, when Corey Chavis closes the gap, the contact occurs right there. That arm slows him down. You've got to be able to shoot your right arm up to knock the ball and then get your left arm on his body at the same time so you do not get the call.